Jersey Governor Phil Murphy says the drone detection equipment they received from the federal government isn't doing much to help them find out why the mystery aircraft have been seen in his state. The FAA implemented a temporary ban on drones in parts of New Jersey and New York until mid-January. In the meantime, the federal government says the drones do not pose a public threat. The Pentagon also saying they are not U.S. military or from any known enemies. Yet there's little information regarding who is behind them. Joining me now is Brad Crispin, co-founder of the Americans for Safe Aerospace. Brad, there's a whole lot of what it isn't, but nobody's telling us what it is. Drone sightings have been reported since mid-November, yet still no clear-cut answers. The public is frustrated. People are getting frustrated. Do you think people will lose interest the longer they have to wait for answers or become more frustrated?
No, I think momentum and frustration is building on this issue, Nick. I think you said it exactly right. There have been thousands of reports from concerned citizens. While some of those are misidentifications, that's not the key story here. The key story is that this incident reveals major vulnerability in our airspace. It reveals major vulnerability in our critical infrastructure, and a percentage of what people are seeing is truly concerning. There were overflights of Picatinny Arsenal and the Trump golf course that probably sparked this incident. And it's a years running pattern of mysterious overflights of military bases and in military training ranges by unidentified objects. And pilots are concerned, members of the Senate Intelligence and Armed Services Committee have concerned, and they've been raising the warning for years.
Okay, Brad, you've been studying this for a while, like you said, since the beginning, and the reports started to come in. Do you believe that this is what the government is hoping for, that the public will actually stop asking questions? And do you believe they actually know what's behind it?
You know, I think the most concerning possibility is that they don't know what's behind it. And when you look at their statements, I think that's a real possibility when they say we have no evidence of a threat, we have no evidence of this, but yet they put up these temporary no-fly zones to allow for the detection and shooting down of drones that they otherwise don't have the authority for. So I do think that there's an issue here. I think that's self-evident. And I do think they're concerned about the misidentifications, adding a lot of noise to the signal. But they don't have this issue under control. And the most recent head of NORAD, General Van Herk, just went on CNN to say exactly that. Everybody's pointing the finger. No one's taking responsibility. This is a real problem.
And you and I know that you can't fly drones in the district, but that's just one area. But because people are seeing them over military bases, and like you said, over Mar-a-Lago. Now, the FAA issued the drone ban last week. Since then, has there been fewer drone sightings?
I do think we're starting to see a reduction in sightings, but the numbers, remain high as people are looking up and looking at the skies. Again, I think only a fraction of these are truly concerning, but people want answers, and let's identify what's in our skies. There shouldn't be unknown objects operating over military bases, operating over critical infrastructure. There's no reason for it.
And then the federal government gave New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy detection instruments and machines to use, and he says they're not working. The technology isn't providing much information. Why do you think that is? Is it outdated? Is it just ineffective?
Well, I think it's meant to detect small drones, class 1 and 2 drones. And, that may not be, everything that's at play here. But there are going to be huge limits in terms of the detection capabilities, depending on what kind of active or passive technologies they're using to detect these drones.
And Brad, like you said, I think that if they're expecting the public's interest to wane, they are sadly mistaken. Brad Crispin, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.